4 months ago, we were at 80K in cash collected.
What'd you do last month?
120K.
$40,000 increase.
If we keep performing the way we are, that will move from a 1.2 million revenue generated business to a 3 million revenue generating business by the end of this year.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Chris, a longtime client. We did an interview together a couple months ago, I think 4 months ago. A lot has changed since then, and so I will dive straight in. Chris, tell the people who you are, what you do for the ones who didn't see the first one.
Yeah, absolutely. So Chris Duvall, I'm the co-founder of Tech Sales Mentors. We help people get hired at the top 1% of tech companies in BDR and SDR roles. We do it. We've done it for over 200 candidates. We do it in an average of 57 days, and we have an 87% placement rate.
Oh yeah, knows his numbers. Hell yeah. And so when we spoke in February, largely what we were talking about is the sales ability and the sales skill, right? Which was, you've made huge leaps, but you're a growing business now. And so we've been able to make a couple of different adjustments that I want to kind of get into. First thing, man, cash collected 4 months ago. What were you at?
Yeah, so 4 months ago, we were at 80K in cash collected for that month.
Okay. What'd you do last month?
120K, yeah.
Last month is June for everyone. So 4 months, $40,000 increase. Let's dive into that. And then what are you on pace to do for this month? We're 7 days in or 8 days in?
I don't know like exactly what will hit this month, but basically based on the changes that we've made, we are confident that if we keep performing the way we are, that we'll move from a 1.2 million revenue generated business to a 3 million revenue generating business by the end of this year. Terms of cash collection.
Hell yeah. So you're on track to 3xing your income or 3xing your revenue.
Yeah. On a month, if you break that down month by month.
Yeah, like the run rate. And like there was one big change that you made in your business model. Walk us through that. How are you operating then versus now?
Yeah, we were collecting, so our offer is $6,000. We were collecting $500 up front and $5,500 after someone decided to sign a job offer. The change that we made was now we collect $6,000 completely up front and we give 100% money back if the candidate doesn't sign a job offer by the 80-day mark.
Mm-hmm. And that's still a sweet deal too. Like before, it was an amazing deal that they only pay $500 up front and then $55 on the back end. But this is still a really good deal, man. And I remember earlier on we were talking about this and I was like, bro, you need to charge $6K up front, but you were against it. Yeah. So give the people a little context, because there's likely people listening to this who are charging way less than they should up front, who could probably resonate with why you were doing that before. Like give us some context. What was behind that?
Yeah, and some people do that out of fear that they're not going to be able to collect that amount of cash. And we weren't really scared about that, but we definitely needed training in how to accomplish that. But the big motivator, the blocker for us, was actually kind of a money mindset or a value mindset. We wanted to build an exceptional product, the world's best. And we wanted to back our product with this guarantee that like, hey, if you don't sign a job offer, you don't even pay. And so we wanted to ensure that our product, our company never drifted off of its values. And the way that we thought we needed to do that was by not collecting money until someone signs a job offer. But some of the problems that we ran into with that was that the people that we were working with, they weren't invested in the process.
Right.
So we would get people in that were jokers that had just paid $500 and then they weren't working hard. They were kind of abusing our mentors. They get one-on-one mentorship, their time, and they weren't being serious about the interviews. And so we have changed so many people's lives. We've completely changed the trajectory and we have a huge positive impact. And when you're in a business for long enough, it can be easy to stop feeling firsthand the magic of the positive impact you're having on people's lives.
Yep.
And when you do that, it can be sort of like, oh, I have to, you can think that, yeah, you can kind of get bad money mindsets. But the reality is the best way to get people success is that they're fully invested in the process. And that means that they need to make the full investment up front. It also does things like triple your revenue collected for the company. Like crazy change in cash collected affects downstream. And you can still offer an amazing guarantee, like 100% money back if you don't deliver the solution.
And I think that's a really good point in a couple of things. The first one is the mindset around it. I think that's really important because a lot of times as business owners, we think the thing holding us back is like the close rate or the KPIs, but it's like how you're viewing, the meaning that we attach to it. I think that's really key. And then the second piece is the fact that it's actually more ethical to charge more money up front.
Yes.
Like you're doing the customer a disservice when they're not as invested. And so it sounds like it's reflected.
You're setting them up for failure.
Yeah. And so now on the I know this is like more for sales, but just for the people listening on the fulfillment, how are people now showing up now that they're paying 12 times more than they were paying up front compared to before?
Yeah, we have a significantly higher placement rate. That 87% placement rate is quickly creeping higher and higher because the people are fully invested. And we're also not onboarding people that aren't serious. And so even if we onboard less people than we were before, which we are, we're placing a lot more candidates because the people that it is a self-selecting mechanism where the people that are serious are finding the way to work with us. And then they're getting an amazing result, which is a job offer for at least 70K, oftentimes 100K in their first year, doubling to 200K. It's a no-brainer in terms of the benefits that these people get for it and in terms of the pricing we charge. And we are screening for the people that are serious about making those life changes.
Exactly. Way less dabblers. Like anybody can find $500 under a mattress, but shit, if you're investing $6,000, like you're gonna show up and you're gonna pay attention, and that's really good. I'm glad you made that change. And so now with that change came more complexities in the business, right? There's more cash being collected, meaning there's more hands involved, and then we onboarded a closer. Like, what was that kind of experience of being a first time manager, onboarding, hiring a closer?
Well, actually moving to the cash collected upfront model radically simplified cash collected, how our business runs in a ton of ways. And if you're a business owner and you've been resistant about 100% cash collected up front, don't be. This is the way that you should run it. You should not try to reinvent the wheel. There's nothing unethical about asking the customers that you work with to put their money where their mouth is, to invest alongside you. For instance, our company spends about $2,500 on each candidate that we work with. So it's totally reasonable for the customers to be investing at the same time that we're spending money investing in them. Yeah. And then what we've done since working with Nick is we were able to scale the sales function up to hiring a closer and a setter. And that really kicked off when we first started working together, where we redesigned our total sales scripting, which I come from a B2C background in software SaaS sales, and it's a completely different sales model. And so we were not selling in the right way. Nick, your scripting got us set up to sell in the right way. So we were closing the right volume of business to be able to bring in a setter and a closer. Did you have another question there?
Yeah, no, that's it right there. And like making it a duplicatable process, right? There's a lot of fancy shit that people see me do on my TikTok and Instagram, but we didn't even scratch much of the surface of all the fancy nuanced stuff. It's basic and being able to implement the basic into someone else, which was cool to see. With hiring him, like what help would you say I gave with maybe not exactly hiring, but with training him, with onboarding him, with getting him up to speed? Like, where do you think I played a part in getting him ramped up? Because he was closing like 45%.
Yeah, you did a great job in ramping up our closer, Elijah, and both the scripting, the onboarding material, and then also in call reviews is the most valuable part. Even if you're a seasoned closer, you need feedback from somebody else reviewing your calls, and it really helps if it's not your own manager. I also was reviewing his calls, but when you have two sets of eyes, which you need to be if you're a manager, but when you have two sets of eyes, like you spend a lot of money on a closer and you spend so much valuable time hiring them. And then it's a total waste of your time and your investment not to pay for a specific sales code for your closer to consistently go through, review their calls, give them feedback. And there's so many errors that slip in again and again and again. Probably 90% of the work that you did with us, Nick, was within the first 8 minutes of every call. And that's when a call is made or lost. So if somebody thinks that they're too advanced or too good, like Nick, I know you yourself as somebody that reviews your calls. So you never get to the point where you don't need management, where you don't need sales call reviews.
Yep. Yeah, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. So I totally agree. Well, this is going to be a pretty quick, pretty simple one. I think the fact that I'm not a mathematician here, 80K to 120K, that's like 40% more revenue in 4 months, something like that. I don't know. That's really good. And any last words for any business owners who are maybe on the fence of, does this only work for closers? Does it work for business owners too? Does this guy know what he's talking about with business owners? Like, what do you tell them?
Yeah. Nick, you definitely know what you're talking about. And it's one of those interesting people that's uniquely fascinated in closing. I know, Nick, personally, you spend time going to sales conferences, you study sales in your off hours, and you're really you're a master of the game. And so, yes, you are an authority in this space in knowing how to move people through the sales process, how to train both B2C and B2B businesses in scaling up their processes. You have a lot of experience in B2B sales as well. And no matter what kind of business owner you are, B2B or B2C, if you're not investing in your sales, it's literally the biggest lever that you can pull in increasing revenue in your business is closing more business. You can run the numbers yourself. If you can drive from 15% close rate to a 25% close rate, it's the number one investment you can make. It's totally reasonable. Nick can do it for your business in 2 weeks.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you, dog. Thank you. Till next time, everyone. Peace.
See you later.